Hello, hello. We are live. Okay, let's do it. Let's go. I think I slightly messed up my audio settings. I had to change some stuff and then oops, what did I just do? There we go. I had to change some stuff around and I think I ended up messing up some stuff, but okay. So today we're definitely doing some armies against entropy stuff. The question is, what exact stuff are we working on? And the answer to that is I don't know. I say as I yawn. Yeah, the goal is probably going to be either working on some of the beta cards, getting like all these finished, means creating one more god and maybe one more land. And then the other thing, of course, that would, you know, finishing the finishing the art on these, and then also, you know, the abilities on the and art for whatever these two blanks are going to be. The other thing we could do is work on patching the game and just getting that finished. It's really close. I'm trying to think what's left, you know? Well, I mean, I guess I kind of wrote down everything that's left. Look at that. Wow. Look at me go. This doesn't quite work because it's zoomed in just a smidge too far. Maybe we do like that. I guess, maybe? I don't know. So yeah, the goal is probably just to work on these things, especially if it's quiet. I feel like more fun to come up with you know, cool card ideas when there's people here. So maybe we start off with this, and when we get bored of the monotony, we can move over to maybe something more interesting. So here we go. I am seriously considering not doing Friday so late. Mostly because most of the community is, you know, does early stuff, but I don't know. It's kind of like 6 and 1/2 dozen other. I do like having the ability for people to join, you know, later, but I don't know. Still unsure how I feel about it. So yeah, let's just start by going over the entire rulebook, which I don't know how interesting that's gonna be. But you know, we really kind of need to, so it's just gonna be a lot of me reading, I guess, which is, you know, maybe entertaining in its own right. Dyslexic man reads his own rulebook. So we basically need to proofread everything. You know, I'm not gonna be the greatest at sorry, making sure everything's spelt correctly and all that, but I do want to make sure I want to make sure that nothing conflicts with any of the new rules, right? So let's start. And then we can kind of export these as we finish them. So actually, to set that up, let's create a new folder here. New folder. Call it rule pages 1.1.6. I don't know if this is ever going to have a 2.0 update or what. Actually, I guess a 2.0 update would be like the booster pack or expansion. And then maybe like the final release of this one would be 1.2. I definitely didn't need, I don't know. I definitely didn't need this many numbers, but you know, here we are. Okay. Now we have a folder. We'll just save these, export these into there. Armies Against Entropy. Armies Against Entropy is a cooperative card game where players control lands, build structures, and lead armies of units with special heroes. Together, they fight against the evil old god, their monster hordes, and corrupted wastelands and ruins. And the corrupted wasteland and ruins under their control, as the malevolent forces seek to bring out the end of the world. I feel like that could be like I could have a better statement there, but for now we're just gonna roll with it. To play Armies Against Entropy, you will require the following components: at least 2 decks of player cards. Well, this is actually already one thing, right? 2 decks of player cards, an Old God deck, I don't know if I should do this. I guess we'll do this. A midnight deck. Right. Because we also need a minion deck. An Old God card deck, a minion deck, unit tokens. Anything else? I guess that's the only components to the game. This could probably be broken down into like more specific numbers, but I think it's okay. Cards, player cards. Player cards are vital for the player to battle the old god and achieve victory. Each card has unique functions, such as deploying units, utilizing special effects, and even modifying game mechanics. Players collaborate to manage their cards while facing the challenges and obstacles posed by the old god cards in their quest for triumph. I feel like collaborate to manage their cards is just kind of like a weird statement. Maybe it's like collaborate utilizing their cards. Utilizing. Players collaborate, utilizing their I don't know. Utilizing their cards. Players collaborate, utilizing their cards. I don't know. Maybe just now. Nah. Sounds good enough. It's kind of like somewhere between a sort of a I don't really like how my camera was set up here. All right, that's a tangent. This is kind of like somewhat flavory, but also like it's kind of a nothing statement, but it kind of feels like it needs to be there. So anyway, that's good. We will have to replace all the cards at some point, like all the cards on here. I don't think that's like our final release update that'll change those, but make sure they're all the current cards, but because who knows, they might change. Export as PNG. We're gonna go to here. We're gonna go to here. Page 1, save. Oh, we'll do that. Or let's just do it now. We need to go to the rulebook. Pages. We need to. Wrong thing. Wrong thing. There we go. We need to rename. So this will be 15. This is just going to be easier to do now. This will be page 15. This will be 14. We added a page, and I don't want there to be a page 11.5, believe it or not. So we're doing that. Yeah, I feel like Friday night is just like not an ideal time to stream because like people are, you know, doing things like having events. Like honestly, that's most of the time I can't stream on Friday nights. I think it's just a bad stream time, you know? So maybe I start doing earlier Fridays and then we just I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Anyway, moving on. Okay, biggest thing here is to make sure that this says side effects, which it does. Card name, that's fine. Attack icon, yep. Base effect, yep. Triggered effect, yep. Effect that requires something to be triggered, yep. That's card type, unit gain, unit effect icon, unit card type icon. This icon represents type, ability. Yeah, all that's fine. So we're just gonna I was about to say that is unchanged from the last one, but that's untrue because we did change them to be called side effects instead of costs because it's more accurate. I kind of like calling it a cost better, but the thing is the cost isn't. It's more accurate as a side effect because it happens regardless of whether you have the resource to pay for it or not. It also kind of makes it a little bit different from an ability, right? Whereas this, like, this will affect you whether you have the thing or not, whereas an ability, you have to have the thing for it to work. So I think it's kind of more interesting in that way, and it actually has more relevance of it being different, right? Because otherwise a spell could just be a ability, right? So moving on. Again, we're just gonna have to go through and read all these and make sure everything is kosher with the current stuff, you know. Gods are the first card a player chooses to help define the play style of what they would like to define the type of play style they like to use during the game by giving powerful effects. Okay, we're good there. Heroes are placed on the front lines, typically are going to be dealing and receiving the most damage. Most heroes have the ability to attack, allowing them to defeat threats controlled by the old gods. True. That is not incorrect. Lands are... Actually, let me double check. All right, I just want to double check YouTube there, because sometimes I forget to check it, and then it's like, oh, I didn't didn't set my thing up right or whatever. Anyway, lands. Lands are players' main source of unit generation. Protecting your lands is crucial to having the power to defeat the old gods. Cool. Structures. Structures have some of the most versatile functionality in the game. These cards can have widely varied effects, helping you to create powerful synergies. Synergies, period. The main caveat, sorry, I was like, I can't see with this guide here. Main caveat is these cards must be played above lands. Okay, this is actually not, it's not untrue. No, that's still true. It must be placed above lands, like to gain their effect. Adonymous, yo. How you doing, dude? Welcome on in. We're finishing up the rulebook today. Oh, I need to, okay, I don't really need to, but well, this also should be just on the art display because it's probably a little bit better. Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, a little bit better. You can see everything then. We need to activate the Luna camera though. The only problem is her little box is too close to the hey. Not the greatest view of her. Nice to meet you. There you go. There, that was an important thing to do. It needed to be done. Anyway. Yeah, Adonis, what are you up to? What are you working on? Spells. Spells are extremely powerful cards, being able to be played at any time and resolve immediately. There's not a space here. Oh, there is. Allowing you to, this period probably should just be the same color. Allowing you to get out of a tight situation. Maybe it should just be a comma. There you go. Unit gain. Unit gain represents how many units the card gains per turn during their unit phase. Units gained with this icon are placed onto the card. Cool. Attack icon. This icon shows whether it's the wrong kind. Wait, no, it's never mind. Saying I thought it was the wrong kind of weather. Like, that's right. Whether the card can attack or not. Typically, these are hero cards, but keep an eye out. Some heroes don't attack, while other card types may be able to. Cool. Beautiful. Player cards will typically have one or two types of effects, a base effect and or a triggered effect, unit effect, ability, or side effect. These effects are inherent base ability or base effects. These effects are inherent ability of the cards that is active once played. Cool. Effects. These effects require a specific number of units on the card to trigger. Once activated, the effect remains active until the number of units falls below the required threshold. Abilities. Who's texting me? It's just my group chat. Yeah. Abilities are unique actions that that can be performed and often involve specific cost requirements. Once the cost is paid, the effects happen immediately. Triggered effects activate only when a specific requirement is met, and effects occur immediately thereafter, regardless of game. It's probably supposed to say game phase, and it probably is actually in here. Just, yeah, there we go. A little close. Also not really aligned properly. Yeah, these are just not aligned properly. Triggered effect and all these need to be moved up to about there. I could honestly go this way a little bit. Okay. Side effects. Side effects are negative consequences that trigger when a card is played. They don't prevent the card's use, but they represent a drawback that comes with the benefit of the card. With beneficial effect. Sorry, can't read my own things I wrote. Crazy, right? Okay. That's another one done. Export PNG. Page 3. We're rocking and rolling. Only a bunch more of this to go. We could do something more interesting. If anyone wants to, we could do more some more game design stuff. Because we can do some beta cards and get those kind of more squared away. But I figured we'll just do some boring stuff at the start while, you know, people are, you know. Actually, I'm curious as to the analytics on a Friday stream and how and when people are most active, you know. Last Friday was early, so that doesn't count. Yeah, on Friday, the last one, the first 18 minutes were just like quiet, and then kind of sporadic through the rest. The one before that, there were some people at the beginning, and then it was just dead for like an hour. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can, I should keep doing late Friday streams. It's not really helping anyone. It is nice for like some, like, again, the reason I like it is because it lets people have a chance to see me when they wouldn't normally, but at the same time that also means that people who can normally see me don't. So obviously, Anonymous, you're here, but it is interesting. I know it's probably pretty damn late for you though. The Old God cards are the primary antagonists of the game, representing an automated deck that relentlessly draws new threats for the player to face. Each card serves to dismantle the player's forces by attacking them directly or imposing negative effects. Health of the card. So the damage they deal. Yeah, this is all... This hasn't changed. Yeah, this hasn't changed. Yeah, I was gonna do some sketches and I saw you live. Yeah, it's so like, I don't know. It's just, one, I think I miss a lot of my Friday streams because I usually like things start happening and then like I like have, you know, life events, right? Like, oh, like family's having a family gathering. I guess I can't do a Friday stream. And then like, so people don't know I'm here. And then also it's just late for my regular viewers. Halfling, hello, how are you? Cat cam, heck yeah, right? I made it so my my cord can go a little bit longer, so it's a little bit easier to see it. Although she's kind of like pushed the box like half under my desk, so it's kind of hard to see her, but good. What are you up to today, Halfling? How's life? We are doing, by we I mean me, I'm just going through the rule book, making sure everything looks good, and then once it is you know, once it's all good, I'm just saving these pages out and I'll be able to do that. But I'm starting with this kind of the boring stuff, and then maybe we can move to something more interesting later, but not much, just melting. That's good. I love just turning into a puddle. Is it hot where you're at? I'm assuming. Old gods. These gods are the old gods are the primary adversaries, setting the game's difficulty by summoning powerful cards in their decks from their decks to overwhelm the players. That's fine. Technically, they can have like passive effects, but like I don't think it needs to say that. That's kind of like, yep, it's hot. Yeah, it's also like almost get up to 100 by me this coming week, so that's gonna suck. Minions are weaker cards played by the old gods to steadily erode the player's defenses, applying consistent pressure throughout the game. Technically, this could say they also have a stacking mechanic, but this is really just like a brief overview. We actually get to like more of that other stuff later, so. Oh, we did. I wasn't sure. Actually, I relabeled all these, but I was tempted. No, it makes more sense where it is. Never mind. I was thinking about moving this page to just before the... No, it's fine where it is. Never mind. Ignore me. Did you not? Oh, I didn't notify Discord. That's right. That is... Shoot. Sorry, Maximus. You're right. That is... Thank you for letting me know. Also, welcome in. Hello. I completely forgot. I really need to just set that up to be automated. I was like, why is no one showing up? You dingus. Not you dingus, but me dingus, you know? Me dingus. Will you type out a message by hand every time? That's correct. Well, here's the thing. There's two things. One is that I'm pretty sure any bot that will do a stream notification will not do both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. The other thing is it is kind of nice to have like a special notification if I want something interesting, right? To be like, hey, I'm doing my 100 follower celebration like last time, right? Or, you know, just saying what I'm working on. I don't do it as often as I should, but there we are. But welcome in. Thank you for being here. Well, thing is, you do both at the same time, so you can make it just a bot that checks your YouTube and sends both links. Yeah, it probably just, only checks YouTube and then sends the Twitch link as part of like its default text, because the Twitch link never changes, whereas the YouTube one does. I think with Mortimus around, Dingus is a compliment. True. I can agree with that. Yeah, that was my bad. Yeah, welcome in. Yeah, I'm just going over the rule book. I like I've said a few times now, I might switch to beta card stuff. I'm really close to having the game fully updated. The only thing... My crown! What? Oh. Maximus have the most, is he the king? I would not be surprised. Oh. Huh. Is the crown per stream, or is it I guess it's per stream. It's like, it's not lifetime. It's weird. If the discussing criminal Talamus were here, he'd scream, rules! You stole it. You stole the crown, Dingus. Yeah, so... I mean, it's not even anything fun. I'm literally just reading over the rules, making sure everything sounds... Not even sounds good, but is like... There's nothing that's changed to a point where it's like, oh, this is just blatantly wrong. And then saving them out. But yeah, we're pretty damn close to... Why is this card here? Keep in mind... Oh, icons can appear on the base effect. Bonus effect of any card. Oh yeah, because these icons are in. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. So we're actually extremely close to being done with. Like, we can probably push this update out soon. But there's a few things. One, I just need to do all the work, which is like a ton of stuff. I need to read over the rules, export them, adjust the rule cards, port it to Tabletop Simulator, port it to Screen Top, put the printed format on my web, or put the printed format out, put the rules on the website, update the card art on the website, post patch notes to the website, Discord, and Steam, and update the Discord downloads. And hopefully what I'm going to be doing is making it so all that stuff links to my website instead, and then that way I don't have to keep doing this over and over again. Yeah, that's why I don't update the game as much as I would like to. Because it's kind of a lot of work. Yeah, per stream, last one I had over 500 XP. Interesting. It's kind of weird that it's only like per stream though. And like, you can't, like, what do you even do with that XP, you know? You didn't even get anything for it. I'm sure they're going to do something with it, would be my guess, but I don't know. I don't know what the system is for. It's literally just to be like, oh, I'm the top chatter, I think. It's nothing, just a cool hat, pretty much. Right now, just wasting server space and bandwidth. I mean, pretty much. But yeah, so the goal is to get all that done, but I don't think I'm going to do all that today. You know, probably just a few things maybe, and then just go to our beta cards and do something fun as well. Either designing the 2 last cards, because there's one other thing I'm trying to debate, and maybe you guys can help me decide. Do we want to have a new god in with the next update, or should I just save that for next update? I probably should save it for next update, honestly. No, I get what it's for. I'm the top chatter, but it fails at doing that. Yeah, it's kind of weird because Halfling was here before you and said, in theory, more things. So I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't think it's top chatter. Honestly, I'm wondering if it takes into account like previous watch time, because Mortimus, by far has the most like watch hours on my stream. He's the real OG. We're tied currently. Yeah, but it still puts him on top, and you had more messages before that, so it's just kind of weird. But either way. Yeah, I guess probably I should wait to put these in. I feel like it's giving me 1 over on Halfling when we're tied because of alphabetical order, honestly. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. He's just lucky with this placement, I guess so. But yeah, I haven't decided on whether I put a new god in on this patch or the next patch, but I guess if I put one in on this patch, it does mean that we have to actually like play test the beta cards, which kind of feels like I'm going to be postponing it for even longer. So I think maybe we just go ahead and send it, you know? So I do want to get these done regardless. It just, whether I was putting one of these into the main game or not was the question. So yep. And this is actually becoming more and more like useful, right? Having the beta, because I think we're getting to a point where the main game is just going to be balancing. In theory, fingers crossed. Unless there's some sort of glaring issue that I've completely overlooked. But anyway, back to me reading. If you guys have anything more interesting to talk about, feel free to ask me questions or anything. But I will be reading my rule book. And I guess you can follow along. Yeah. Monsters. Monsters are powerful cards. played by the Old God, intended to deal damage to the players while with devastating attacks and abilities. True. Absolutely riveting. Should I do like a storybook and like have it so I like show it to each member of the class, you know? Yeah, it's not great content. Maybe I should be doing something else, but here we are. Wastelands. Wastelands are cards that empower the Old God by increasing its card draw, threatening to overwhelm players with additional threats. I'm already losing my voice. It's great. Well, look, if you don't know the game, what do you mean I'm enamored by this? Beats, I have a question. Yes. Mr. Beats, I have a question. Okay. Sorry. Yes. I have a question. Can I use the bathroom? I mean, if you haven't learned to play the game, this is you're getting a full introductory course. Basically just means I'm reading the thing to you, but okay. Ruins are cards used by the Old God that impose negative effects on players, disrupting their strategies and changing the performance of the Old God card, such as altering the attack orders of monsters. Well, it gets a little specific, but it's fine. Sweet. I've never had the time to. Yeah, so I mean, it'll be a little bit disjointed. I'm just gonna keep reading it, and then we'll get through it eventually. Not disjointed, but it's just like, yeah, I might have to correct something mid explanation, or read a comment. But at least you'll kind of get the idea. Curses are cards that resolve immediately, inflicting harsh penalties on the player, forcing difficult choices, disrupting their plans, or damaging their cards and damaging their cards and units. It's fine. I was like, that's kind of a little like doesn't make total sense because you can't really damage a card, but will give me a better explanation. Yeah, for sure. But it's good enough for now. Let's just get rid of damaging their units. Doesn't really, well, we're just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna mess with it. The Old God card, or Old God deck. The Old God deck refers to Old God's main deck, which consists of monsters, wastelands, ruins, and curses, typically in reference to card draw. You're right, you don't damage cards anymore. I mean, that was super old. I mean, it could just say destroying their cards and units. That would make more sense. Why can I never spell destroying? Destroying. We'll say destroying instead of damaging. Damaging, honestly, could be potentially confusing. Strength. Strength icon represents the card's strength, indicating... So the strength icon represents the card's strength, indicating the number of units required to defeat the card. It also shows how much damage the card can deal if it has an attack order. We are using the word to define itself, but this assumes most people understand what the word strength means, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Keep in mind, icons can appear in the base effect or bonus effect of any card. Do I refer to the secondary effect as the bonus effect anywhere else? I don't think I do. Whatever, it's fine. I'm gonna say other effect. Anyway, export this guy. Yeah, we will very slowly learn the game together if you don't know it. So okay. Next, we are at page 6. Attack order. These icons represent the order in which a card will attack. Unit strength. These are the unit strength icons. They determine what strength of a card is attacked. The strongest icon represents the card with the most units. Weakest, this icon represents the card with the fewest units. Card type. These are the card type icons. The order in which these icons are placed determines the targeting of the card's attacks, starting with the leftmost icon and moving to the right. If the icon does not appear on the Old God card, if this icon does not appear on the Old God card, it will not. If an icon does not appear on the Old God card, it will not attack that type of card. Cool. With the exception of the God cards, as gods will be attacked once all other cards are destroyed. Period. Yay! Woo! Heroes. If the hero icon appears, are you back? Oh, I know. Are you back to number 1? No, I wasn't sure if that's why you're excited. The card will attack heroes. Structures. If the structure card appears, it will attack structures. If the land icon appears, it will attack lands. Cool. Done. Card effects. The Old God cards will typically have 1 or 2 types of effects. A base effect and or a defeated effect. Base effect, these effects are inherent ability of the card as active once played. Yep. These positive defeated effects. These effects trigger when a card is defeated, providing a beneficial outcome for the player. Defeated effects. I guess I should have read that one first, but you know, most cards controlled by the Old God will have a defeated effect, which can either do a positive or negative effect. This icon shows the cards that represent either type. Negative, these effects activate upon a card's defeat, imposing penalties on the player. Beautiful. Did I even change? Oh yeah, I did a tiny change there. Export PNG. And now you know, one more page. Page 7. Thrilling content. Units. Units are the most essential component in the game, representing the forces a player controls. They contribute to the strength of a card they are placed on, determining the health and damage it can inflict. Units are the lifeblood of a card. If the card loses all its units, it is destroyed and moved to your discard pile. Units may also unlock unique abilities or effects based on the cards they're placed on. True. Mostly with unit effects, but that's okay. Setup. To start the game, players each choose a god card representing their army's chosen deity. Players also select an old god to face as their opponent. Old god cards vary in difficulty, so if you're first time playing, we recommend starting with the easiest option, Bogatet, God of Rot. After selecting cards, each player places their god card and the chosen old god, their god card and the chosen old god card onto the play space. Each player then shuffles their deck and draws 5 cards into their starting hand. Shuffle the old god's deck as well. Okay, actually, I must have written, I don't know, it's good to be reading this because I'm like, did I ever do like draw 2 cards per turn? I don't know if that's actually in a game right now, so interesting. Guess we'll find out. Turn order. At the start of each turn, players will collectively choose which order they will take their turns. This is new. After all players have completed their turns, the old god takes their turn. The cycle repeats until the game is won or lost. So yeah, now players can choose who goes first, which is a new thing. So that's fun. Yeah. Player turns broken down into phases: draw phase, play phase, unit phase, attack phase. God's turns are broken down into 2 phases: draw phase and attack phase. Example of gameplay space. Oh, actually, this needs to be changed now. We need to change the tabletop or the screen. Sorry, tabletop simulator unit icon, because we are going to change that. Just to make more sense, because the helmet is the hero icon, and it just doesn't make much sense that it is the, not correct. Oh God. It's very large. Well, I do want the number that's on this. I don't know if I think I screenshotted the last one. Oh, I didn't. Okay, I guess we just leave it. Doesn't have the number on it, but that's fine. There we go. Tedious. Okay. I don't know why I keep messing with alignment. I'm like, it just doesn't look right. There we go. Okay. Good. Done. Moving on. Export PNG. Page 7 done. Yeah, we'll move on to something interesting after this. I'm bored, and I'm not even streaming. Not even streaming. Not even watching. I'm not even streaming. No, I'm not even. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, guys. I'm losing it. We're halfway through though. About thereabouts. Okay. Here we go. Player draw phase. The current player will draw 2 cards from their deck and keep... Okay, that is correct then. And keep two cards from that. Keep in mind, some cards allow you, the player, to draw additional cards. If this is your first turn before you have played any cards, you may optionally mulligan 1 time. You can do this. You do this by reshuffling your cards into your deck and drawing again. If you don't know if you should mulligan or not, we recommend having at least one hero in land. Cool. The nice part is the game is much more like balanced, where you don't actually need to have any specific cards anymore for the most part. Not 100% true, but relatively. Play phase. The current player may play cards into their play space from their hand. You may play 2 of any land, structure, or land card, structure card, and hero card per turn in any combination. You may play any number of spells at any time, even outside of your turn. Spells supersede all other actions and can be played before anything else, including Old God Curses. Is that true? I believe so. I believe the only... Yeah, technically, yeah, that's true. This might... It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Should be good. We'll see. You never know when people get like confused about stuff, so it'll be good once I get this like out in the wild and people can tell me whether it's, you know, good or not. Because I think this update probably is where I'm going to start pushing it out into the world. Because I want to make a video, like how to play video. Oh, I probably totally missed the... Oh no, I didn't miss the ad. I was gonna say, pretty sure I just missed the ad, but not quite. 3 minutes. Not that like we really need to take a break from me. Whatever. Anyway, structures can be placed in any space, but if there is no land beneath them, structures can be placed in any space, but if there's this probably should say, like, structures can be placed in any space in the structure zone. Structures can be placed in any space in the structure zone, but if there is no land beneath them, they enter play disabled. Similarly, if the land beneath the structure is destroyed, the structure becomes disabled. Cool. Rules. This rule does not apply with heroes or any other type of card. Cool. Each card you play will enter the play space with 1 unit placed on that card. Cool. Units placed. Ooh, this... we do need to replace the... Oh no, I didn't even think about that. I need to replace all the unit counters for all of these within the thing. It's fine. I'm just sad about it. At least we're like doing something, I suppose. Can't be too mad. I don't know what, like 4%. That was almost perfect. In fact, it's probably perfect. Okay. Save. Export. PNG. Page 8. Okay. Oops. What did I just do? Oh, you can sort by top chat? That's kind of weird. Anyway. It's like, what does that even mean? Okay. It's kind of weird to me. Anyway. Exported that one. We move on. We ride into battle. We're on page 9. We're gonna, let's just do this now. An example 2. I wonder if I can just, what are the chances I can just relink this file? Hello, Jacob. How you doing? Welcome on in. What is the chance I can just relink file without it being really annoying? Everyone cross your fingers and pray to the gods. Words. What am I doing? Armies against entropy. Art. Unit icons. This icon. Place. Well, didn't quite work, but it was worth a shot. Like 3%? At least they're on the right spots, I guess. Oh, we're in an ad. Okay, we're gonna take a break. It's ad time. Oh, how did I miss so many? Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, it did organize it differently. Anyway, we're taking a break. I'll be back in 3 minutes.
The 20-sided die, or D20, has been the staple of the role-playing game genre for almost as long as it's existed. Despite that, I decided I'm going to retire it from my game, in favor of using a D4, D6, D8, D10, and D12. Why is that? Well, in this devlog, I'm going to be talking in depth on this decision, and you can tell me whether I'm a crazy person or not. Hi, I'm Nathan, and this is my sci-fi deck builder role-playing game called Soul. Now, in order to talk about these changes, first I have to talk about the changes that were made to my core stat system. And the truth is, it's a pretty big change. Originally, the core stats in my game were strength, agility, endurance, and intelligence. These were fine, but I decided I wanted some more diversity in these stats. Because of that, they are now going to be strength, finesse, agility, willpower, intelligence, and charisma. There is also another factor for these changes. This reason being, the previous versions of the game, dice rolls were completely unaffected by a character's stat level, with few exceptions. But what do I mean by that? Well, for the uninitiated, a player at a role-playing game, when they want to perform an action, will typically roll a dice. After rolling that dice, they will add a relevant modifier to that roll. These are typically listed on a character's character sheet and relating to a player's core stats. Then, this number would be compared to a specified number to judge the results. If the player beats the specified number, they succeed, and if it's lower, then they fail. Soul didn't have this, meaning if a character wanted to do something, their stats would typically have no direct bearing on the results. This was unfortunate because it hindered any character diversity. No character was better or worse at performing actions than another. This was partly by design with our trait system, which I go into in a previous video, which you can check out here if you're curious. In brief summary, these were cards that gave bonuses based on your stat level. The higher your stats, the better bonuses you had access to. Well, some traits gave you bonuses that you could add to your roll, like success rates for performing a ranged attack. These bonuses generally were very specific and mutually exclusive to other more powerful traits that added utility to your character instead. If you've ever played Dungeons & Dragons, this is similar to the optional feat rule with ability score improvement. Essentially, you could either gain a stat bonus or new ability. I don't know about you, but I've always found it somewhat unfun, as the feat usually was always cooler and gave you something new to your character, while the stat bonus was generally much better, but entirely less interesting. But
Okay.
what's my point?
I have
calm down.
returned.
I'm getting to it. My point is that I still want to have a trait system for interesting.
No, wait, wrong one. There you go. The kitten is out of the box. Cat is out of the bag. There we go. Hi, good. I'm glad you're good. The book has almost as much pictures as cards, or has almost as much pictures as cards. Yeah, for sure. Bye, kitty. Yeah, she's here. She's just not in her box anymore. Kind of farther away. But yeah, I mean, I tried to make the Sean the Pawn and Lana Dawn. What up, dude? The YouTube crew is here. I guess we got some people on Twitch too, but yeah, we're just honestly, it's not a super interesting stream. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, there we go. There's DDP. How you doing, dude? I'm just reading through the rule book. So if you haven't read the rule book, here's your chance to have someone read it for you. It's the audiobook version. But yeah. However, if you have something more interesting to say, go for it. I'm just gonna keep reading, and basically I'm just trying to go over the whole thing and make sure the you know, everything is good with the current update and nothing's changed. Yeah, so here we are. And yeah, I try to have a lot of pictures in the book because I really want to make sure that, I don't know. I feel like when I read a rule book and it's just like all text, my like eyes glaze over and I'm like, why am I even here? You know, well, what am I even doing? And so like having as many pictures as possible hopefully makes it so it's like less, you know, less of a mind numbing to read, right? We are now a trio of YouTube watchers. No, a quadro. Wait, that's not a word. Or is that a word? A quadro? It would be yeah, I was about to say quadruplets. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that would be. Hi. What are you doing? I have a feeling you're gonna start meowing at me to want to leave. Okay, unit phase. Unit phase breaks down into two steps: gaining and allocating. Gaining step. During this step, players gain units based on the number indicated on the unit gain icons on the card. Units gained are immediately placed on the card and that created them, unless otherwise stated by the card. Cards also gain units from different effects on the cards. So cards also gain units from different effects on the cards. Comma. This should have a comma, I feel like. So keep an eye out on the text. So keep an eye on the text of the card to see if you're gaining units elsewhere. Sure. Keep in mind, some units can be gained outside of this phase. If this occurs, the units are placed on the card that triggered them, unless otherwise stated by the card. Huzzah. Allocation step. I did not mean to create text there. After all units are gained, players may take the units from any of their cards and place them onto other cards they control, effectively moving them from one card to another. Huzzah. Exceptions. Units may be allocated to heroes. However, once units are moved to a hero, it cannot be moved again. You've committed your armies to that hero. Players... should probably move up just this image. Nope, not that. Not that. You do this? Control click. There we go. Players cannot destroy their own cards by placing units Players may not destroy their own cards by placing units. Each card must have at least one unit. Placing seems like a weird word. No, I guess it's fine. It works. It makes sense. Okay, the end. We're good there. This page is done. Save, export, PNG. Rulebook. Rulebook 1.1.6. Page 6, save. Done. All right. Next page. Page 10. This is a lot of unit indicators on it. Well, only 4, but still. I guess let's do it first. Let's do it right away. I like how it like kind of like if you just click and drag, there's kind of a slide with the in Photoshop. Kind of surprising that it does that. It doesn't just stop immediately. You kind of just row the thing, you know. Okay, right click, replace contents. We want this, hit place. Again, it's way too big, but 3. Yep. Anyone working on anything cool? I don't know if I know if all of you, I know I've talked to most of you about this, but maybe I haven't said talked to everyone about it, but who of you is working on your own game? And if so, are you working on it currently? I know Anonymous is, but am my time, wait, the time zone in, you want out? Okay, I'll let you out. Me, says Sean the Palmo's lawn at dawn. It's gotta say you say the full title every time. What you working on? Just check out the sketches I'm doing now while watching your stream. Well, I could. I'm gonna say you're streaming right now too, aren't you? A card game. Would you care to share? If not, no worries, but here, let's see what Anonymous is doing. Oh damn, this looks sick. Look at that. There we go. Now we're just showing off Anonymous' stream. That's dope. That's dope as hell. I can turn him on, see if he's talking. Just kidding. Anyway, we're done. That's sick, dude. That looks awesome. That's dope as hell. Cheers, bro. Yeah, of course. Where is this layer? I can't find where. Oh, it's at cost. Okay. Cool night. Yeah, Anonymous is pretty sick at drawing. He's like extremely quick, which is, I'm jealous, you know. He can whip out a sketch in no time. Can't tell if these icons should be bigger. Maybe we just do 3.5. Sure, whatever. Donis, where can I find your stream? He's on Twitch. I don't think he doesn't do YouTube, I don't believe. Wait, he does drawing and stuff. I say I'll give a shout out, but it wouldn't do anything on here. I'll just here, hold on. Got it. I got you. Oh god. Oh no. Help. Wait, can I post on? There you go. There's where you can find him. Yeah, he has some really cool, I just stream to keep myself accountable. Yeah, but still cool stuff. And other people might find it inspiring to watch you work on your game, you know? So, you never know, right? I don't know if you really want too many people watching you. I don't know. But still, it's cool. Sorry, Sean said, it's not really anything refined, but a mix between chess and magic or Yu-Gi-Oh. Interesting. Sounds kind of cool. I'll check it out. Cool. There you go. Okay, more reading. After unit phase, the current player can choose to attack. Only cards with the attack icon can attack. Each card can only attack once per turn. Excuse me. And can only attack one target. True. Attacking with one of your cards. I feel like saying can only attack one target is actually not true. Because if you can only attack once, well, no, I guess it makes sense to say it because some people might think you could split damage between two targets. So that makes sense. You're here now. There you go. What's up, halfling? Start racking up those channel points. They are fun to have. And I really wish YouTube had something similar. It would kind of be a pain because it'd be more work, but at the same time, yeah, kind of wish they were just merged. I wish you could just stream directly from one to the other. You know, here we are. Either way, get some channel points. They're fun. Get your own drawing if you save up enough. That's what all these little guys on the side are. All these little guys, those are, well, most of them are, okay, half of them are channel point redeems. When attacking with one of your cards, you select the card under the old god's control as your target. However, you cannot attack the old god card directly while it controls one or more cards in play. Attacking comes at a cost. When you attack a card controlled by the old god, you lose units equal to the you lose units equal to the target card's strength. Before? After? Can attack. Cool. Unlike players, the old god cards have static strength, or have a static strength. If a player card attacks with fewer units than the old god card's strength, the player card will be destroyed, and the old god card will remain unaffected. There you go. Yeah, I want. How do you get points? So the more you watch, the more points you get. I think it's like 200. Let me see. How fast do you get channel points on Twitch? 10 points for every 5 minutes. But you get additional ones. There's like a little chest thing will pop up on the icon below. It's like a little green icon. If you click that, you get like a few extra points. Subscribing, you get, I think, an additional like few points per thing. Of course, you have to pay money for that. Paying bits, you get extra points. So like, it is a little bit pay to win, but you know, you can easily rack up that without having to pay anything. So, but you get them passively. But if you send money, you can get them faster. Let's see. Destroy an old god card. Deal. Where's my mate? Destroy an old god card. You must deal enough damage in a single attack to reduce its strength to 0, as partial damage will not weaken it. Commented on it? What? Sorry, I don't know what you mean, Jacob. Did I miss something? Anyway. But yeah, there we go. Done and done. I didn't say this because I got distracted, but Sean, if you want to share, I know you said it's just conceptual or whatever, but if you have anything you want to share, you can feel free to post on Discord and I can show it off to everyone if you want. That is totally up to you. That goes for anyone. If you're working on anything and you want to show it off, let me know. I'd be happy to do it. That doesn't have to just be just game related. You know, Fig usually shows off her like crocheting and stuff. So if you got anything interesting that you want to show off, let me know. As long as it's stream appropriate. Anyway. Old God cards are separated into 2 decks. Their main deck and the minion deck. Main deck. When a card refers to the Old God card, when the card refers to Old God card draw, it is specifically referring to their main deck, which includes all cards except minions. This deck is comprised of wastelands, ruins, monsters, and curses. Feels maybe a little redundant, but it's fine. Probably should say minion. Oh, I don't know. How did Sean the Pawn mows lawn turn into Sean Pawn mows lawn at dawn? And you don't draw card art directly, so wait, you don't draw the card art directly, so nothing to look at. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, no worries. It's better than I can do. Yeah, I don't draw the... Yeah. So is... oh, digitally. Sorry, I can't read right now. Leave me alone. I'm just kidding. Don't leave me, please. I'm so lonely. I can't read. Beats, yes, it's I. I'm panicking. What do you want from me? I'm just spiraling. Final leaf. No! Don't leave. I'm so lonely. Also, unlike the main deck, minion cards... Wait, sorry, I missed minions. Minion deck. Minions deck consists solely of the Old Gods minions. Unlike the main deck, when the minion deck is depleted, is reshuffled and drawn from again. I will leave you alone as you wish. No, come back. I panicked. I didn't mean what I said. Please. Also, unlike the main deck, minion cards stack. When a minion card is drawn that has the same name as one currently in play, it is stacked on top of that card. Minions stacks are treated as a single card with combined strength. The entire stack attacks as one and can be destroyed by a single attack. This means a single effect that triggers due to a minion, such as a minion being defeated, is only triggered once for that stack, not per individual card. Just be careful, a minion reaches a certain number of stacks. It generally stacks might be the wrong word. Reaches a certain number of cards in the stack, it generally gains access to a powerful effect. I don't know, like stacks is like such a like video game term, and I wonder if it's like if that's necessary to clarify. I need to catch up here. On the pond, Mo's lawn at dawn are created through cytokinesis. I don't know. So that's how I became. I don't know what cytokinesis is. Kinesis is. I can't remember. It's hurting my brain saying Shaw on the pond was at dawn so many times. I'm duplicating. Oh no, I was supposed to act like I laughed. Oh well. Beats, I'm taking over. I outnumber you. Oh no. Too many beats are taking over. I outnumber you. No. Went from being alone to be outnumbered. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I guess I'll leave it. God. Because like in a video game, right? It's like if you have 10 stacks of poison, attack. Ah. If you have 10 stacks of poison, like people know what that means. But if you refer to this in a card game, right? Like reaches a certain number of stacks. This people who don't understand that terminology might assume that means a number of multiple stacks and not slice slash. Dead. D-A-D dead. Dead. Cannot figure out how to comment on Twitch. Do you not have you'd have to have a Twitch profile. So if you don't have a user name on there, if stack reaches a certain number of minions, maybe that's probably better. It's a better way to, because I was thinking like number of cards in the stack is a way to do it, but yeah, I could just swap the number, right? If a stack reaches a certain number of minions, yeah. S-T-A-C-K, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's just easily flipped. I'm just wondering, I might have to do that on the cards themselves, because I think let's just take a look at that real quick. How do I word it on the minion cards? When a minion reaches three or more stacks. Yeah, this should, I'm just gonna flip it. It's more clear for people who don't play video games. When a stack reaches 3 or more minions, plural. I know I'm being stabbed right now. Let's see what else. Couldn't comment on the linked videos. Interest. Just register. What's happening? I got stabbed. Just registered. Change it around. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Just gotta do it on all the cards, and that's kind of why I was like procrastinating on it. Sorry, let me focus for half a second, and then I will read what you guys are saying. Seems like Jacob is having struggles, and all you guys have just showed up on Twitch. Let's see. Oh God. Okay, okay, I get the stream now. Okay. You got it. You're good. No, I'm the original. No, I'm the original. I've come back to the dark side. Oh God. Insert Spider-Man meme here. Chart. Oh God. It's so, I don't even know what's happening anymore. Welcome to the team. We have power, indeed. The power to unleash the bald. Good one. That was good. I like that. There you go. Thank you for coming to the Twitch side. Make sure to follow if you want to make sure to get notified when the stream happens. Oh, you know what? Hold on. When the stack reaches 3 or more, it should just say minion and not minions, because minion is the icon substitution thing. There we go. Okay. Yo, you got to the now. Sorry, I was trying to say like two things at once. The Unlucky Halfling, thank you for the follow. We are now at 110 followers. It's crazy. It goes crazy like that. Heck yeah. Congratulations for being the 110th follower. You win a prize, and your prize is my undying gratitude. I know that's not that exciting, but thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay, I need to reread this now. Unlike the main deck, the minion card stack when it, just be careful if a stack reaches, this doesn't really need to be capital. The stack reaches a certain number of minions, it generally gains access to a powerful effect. You like that? I've duplicated. My annoyingly long name is now split. You're just everywhere. He's everywhere. You know what John the Palmo's Lawn at Dawn reminds me of? There was this, God, it's super old. Is The Escapist still a website? Because they did... Oh, it is still a website. Still alive. Still alive. Still alive and kicking. They used to do videos, and there was this... I don't even remember what the videos are called anymore, but one of the videos, they made a joke in the video about a game being called Edgy McEdgerson's Hedge Edger. And then they made the joke, and then someone actually made the game. And that's what that reminds me of. Throws sword in the air. Hey, you're supposed to be dead, pizza. I'm sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Dead. Don't make me get out of one of my swords. I've got two behind me. First of all, I've got a gun. Second of all, I've got a lightsaber. It doesn't have a blade, but you know, I made the hilt. And then I also have a whip sword that's also a belt. If any of you have watched, what's it called? Rather listened to, The Adventure Zone. This is Beacon from The Adventure Zone. Yeah, those are some props I made. I mean, sorry, totally real weapons I made. Need to display those better. All right, 5 minutes of bald has been completed. The hat goes back on. Okay, export. PNG. Run! Dies. Never mind. I'm harmless. I'm small. Did I already export this? I already exported it. I'm small and harmless. That's what they want you to think. Okay, we did 11. We need page 12. We're very close. Failed coup. Coop. Why is it coop? Why is that the word? You know? I guess it's not English, right? Did we... Yeah, we're... Hold on. You join the dark side. Come back to YouTube. Light side. We have milk and white chocolate. Yummy. Okay, we gotta change the unit icons again. Yeah. Y'all causing shenanigans. At least you guys are making some sort of entertainment, right? Sneak Seek says very loudly. Hydrate. Thank you. Appreciate it. Cheers. Yeah, at least you guys are making some sort of entertainment. I'm just here plugging away at a rule book that's you know, it's something. It's some sort of content, probably. I kind of want to Yeah, that's about right. Halfling spits on the ground. Stab, runs toward me, trying to stab. Whoa, wait. Trying to stab him. That got really... like the text moved and my brain was just like melting there from that. Stab him while a quarter sight, just stabbing me in the shins. Well, at least you're not working towards something. At least you're working towards something, not aimlessly drawing. I mean, I feel like even like, I don't know. I don't think like there's necessarily like aimless drawing per se, right? Like, I mean, one, it's you're learning, right? Not learning, but like you're improving your skills. And then also, you the thing you're drawing right now is cool. It's pulled you up again. It's just lurk. I don't know why I didn't just leave your page open. I feel like you could like, I mean, even if you don't use the art now, you could, as long as you don't throw it away, you can use it for something else, you know? I've said this multiple times over the course of, you know, the stream and my videos and all that stuff, but it's good to use, like any of your art can be used for anything, right? I mean, obviously you want a consistent style, but I would say your style seems pretty consistent. So you could probably use your stuff for other things, even if, like you can reuse your art easily from one project to another if you end up not using it for your current project, you know? So Beats holds up his hand and runs straight into it. Like one of those with stiff arming. Drawing is good for the brain. Indeed. You are not him, whoever he is. I'm lost. Sure. True. Yeah. Yeah, I commented on your stream. You're saying you've tried to message? Yeah, I saw you message on. Oh, I mean, you messaged on Adonimus's stream. Are you trying to message on my stream, Jacob? Or are you talking about Adonimus? I'm lost. So I linked Adonimus's stream. Because I can link you my. I can't. Sorry, I missed it. Yeah, Adonimus is watching my stream while streaming, so he's probably not gonna. I did see him say something. Yeah. Like Adonimus said, he's you know. I've never joined the dark side anyway. I mean, I see you commenting on his stream, you know, so you're slightly on the dark side. But yeah, if you want to, it is just let's do this. Give me a sec. I know you don't want to go to the dark side. But if you know, ever feel so inclined, there's the dark side. Stab. Halfling just really stab happy. I'm evil now. Welcome to the evil side. Yeah, welcome on in. It would be kind of funny to have like competing chats, like have like I think I've heard someone who does like like versus, like one chat versus the other. It'd be kind of interesting to have like a page where it's just like each chat and they're kind of going on either side. Maybe they'll do like a chat battle, something about that. I don't know. There's something there. Also, that was me reading Jacob's message. I'm attacking Autonomous now. Dun dun dun. Oh, he's getting stabbed. Okay, I'm distracted. I'm gonna read this page and then we'll continue with stabbing. Old God draw phase. During the Old God draw phase, any card with card draw icons will draw and play cards into the play space. This typically includes the Old God cards itself or wastelands. Additionally, other cards may have card draw effects indicated in their base effects. These cards are played and activated in order in which they are drawn, from left to right, top to bottom, following any specific instructions listed on each card. All cards take effect immediately unless otherwise specified. This includes card draw. That's new. The Old God attack phase. Once the Old God draw phase concludes, it moves to the attack phase. Any card with an attack order, typically monsters and minions, is eligible to attack. These cards will attack in the order they were played, proceeding from left to right across the play area. When attacking, the Old God cards inflict damage on the player's cards equal to their strength. Importantly, the Old God cards do not receive damage in return when they make an attack. If players have no cards remaining on the board, the Old God cards will target the player's god directly. If the god card loses all its units, is destroyed, resulting in the player losing the game. Jacob, thank you for the follow. Thank you. You're now, I was gonna say you're follower 111, which is a fun number, but for some reason it doesn't say that many people. So who am I? No, there it is. It just updated. There you go. Squid Games in chat. Yeah, we're just all murdering people, I guess. Never actually watched Squid Games. I know it was a big deal, but never actually saw it. I already subbed you on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Heck yeah. Stab. I'll fidget spinner you to death. Let me stab. Halflings completely lost it. Basically, Mr. Beast forcing people to fight is Squid Games. Yoda. There you go. Beautiful quote. Yeah. I mean, it seemed interesting, but not necessarily like the kind of show I'd necessarily care to watch, per se. Were you about to hit an ad? 11 minutes. But yeah, it's not necessarily my cup of tea. I like more wholesome stuff, I'm being completely honest with you guys. System starts pouting. His nation is crazy. I don't know what that wants to stab. Halfling, I assume you play like Dungeons and Dragons. Is that a fair assumption? Seeing as your name's Halfling. I guess it's not necessarily indicative. Like there's plenty of other fantasy things, but I feel like if you know fantasy, you join the Hunger Games, not the Squid. Yeah, I suppose so. Yes, but cannot find a group. Yeah. I need to do my campaign again. I'd play with my friends and then it just kind of fell off, unfortunately. But yeah, finding a group, it can be tough. I'm tempted to go to my like local board game store, but I'm also like socially awkward. So, you know, here we are. Your D&D folder in the top left. Oh, on my, yeah. Forever DM, sadly. Same. Wow, we're all forever DMs. I guess let's make a club. Yeah, I have a D&D full. Honestly, I don't even know what's in my bookmark there. Probably nothing important. Used to have a group until the DM moved. Yeah. One of the things I want to do next is after this project is on, and most of you know, because you're on YouTube, I would assume you've seen or at least maybe noticed my Soul videos. I do want to get back into that after this game is done. If not Soul, some sort of tabletop RPG project. Because I'm kind of like unsure where Soul is going in a way. I think I had too many ideas and some of them are conflicting. So I'm gonna have to really reassess all that, but it's a little complex, but has a lot of potential. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, but also it's like it's part of it is I feel like I was making a game that was cool, but not necessarily a game I wanted to play, you know? It's not how I would necessarily have played a tabletop role-playing game, maybe? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it all out. But one of my ideas, me started stabbing. Wait. Why can't I read that word? Experience combat? Expert. I don't know. Too dyslexic. I'm sorry. Soul is what got me into starting. Yes. Okay. Soul is what got me starting, watching your content. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I know a lot of people started watching for Soul and I kind of feel bad about pivoting. It wasn't really my intent necessarily. It's just Soul was like super hard to work on because it's like making a game that can't have game mechanics necessarily. It's really weird. Yeah, if I could play a game with my friends, Soul would not be on the list. AAE would be second, yeah. Scope creep, but for the player, yeah. Gotta go stab. Yeah. One of the things, so there's like three alternate ideas, but I do want to do a tabletop RPG project. I have a few ideas. This is kind of tangenting, but whatever. We're just kind of working on this anyway. We're just staring at this page, really, arguably, but idea one. I have healing magic, you dumb beep. Wait, you dumb. There you go. Hopefully that worked. It might have not worked. Did it work? Is voice mod actually working? Should be open. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, it should have worked. Anyway, it worked. Okay, good. I always don't know if it's actually working or not. Anyway, sorry, I keep getting distracted. The few projects. One is a standalone magic system that can be implemented into any role-playing game. Sort of like like you can craft your own magic items and spells. A system for that. That you could like put into D&D or any other sort of game. Idea 2 is a stream-based role-playing game, which would basically you know, be a role-playing game that is fun to watch on stream. I don't know about you, I personally don't like watching other people play D&D on stream. I find it, rather than like feeling like you're listening to an audiobook or something, right? It feels like you are watching other people play a board game. So I would like to try to make something that feels A, better to watch on stream, and B, have chat integration where like chat is God or the gods, and they can influence the game in certain ways. So if like you do redeems or you know, donate or sub or whatever, it causes certain things to happen in game or does different effects. So yeah, I thought that could be kind of cool. And the last idea is, yeah, I guess kind of go back to Soul and kind of rework it. Well, and then potentially do something more like narrative based, where it's like more based on like how you would film a movie, where it's like you have like flashbacks and like foreshadowing and like stuff like that as like mechanics, right? Rather than something more like crunchy. But I haven't really figured all that out yet. Those are all ideas that could be in combination or separate, but I haven't figured it out yet. Or D&D with chat being players. New players can come in every session, but not in the middle. So, or new guys could be NPCs. So yeah, maybe chat could do something. I don't know exactly how that would work. They definitely wouldn't be... One thing I really want to lean away from or not go toward, right, is letting chat do voices, right? Chat can't actually like talk, because I really don't like putting chat on like stream or like not even chat, right? Viewers is the more correct word, to come on the stream and talk, mostly because you can't predict what people you don't know are going to say. You could have them text, like do text talk stuff, but I also don't want to have people waiting on messages, because I think, like myself, I take forever to type something out. So I'm not like, you know, obviously not everyone's like that, but you know, it depends on who you are. So that could be, you know, unsure how I feel about that. So, but I could see them being like NPCs, or maybe like being able to like deliver notes or something could be interesting, but really playing with the platform as like the way to do the role playing, I think would be kind of a cool thing to do. So, plus that means I could, like collaborate with other streamers, which I think would be a good, just, not business move, but you know, whatever, publicity move. I don't know. Because unfortunately I kind of have to think about that, because this is kind of, I'm trying to do this full time, so I am doing it full time. But if I can't get anything, I eventually will not be doing this full time. Control enemies in some form, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I have seen. So one of the things that I was originally inspired to start playing role-playing games is called Unforgotten Realms. It was a parody on Forgotten Realms, but more a parody on just a bunch of stuff. They did a thing called U Realms Live, which was they did basically he did a really good job at implementing those sort of mechanics in stream. I think there's probably better ways to do it, but he had like, you know, if you got a certain number of donations, then the players would get like a special weapon, or you know, we're about to hit ads. Yeah, we're doing ads. Sorry. Ads, and then we'll be back. We'll finish this talk.
The 20-sided die, or D20, has been the staple of the role-playing game genre for almost as long as it's existed. Despite that, makes be based on their core stats, without having to decide between one and the other. I want something much more like D&D's core stat mechanics, where a player can add modifiers to their dice. And because I want this sort of stat system, it also requires some more stats to make it feel more complete. Yes, it's true, other systems accomplish the same thing with even fewer stats, but I felt like the new stats helped to create a right balance I was looking for and remaining somewhat relevant to all characters. So let's talk about these new stats and what they actually mean and are associated with. Strength remains relatively the same, helping with actions related to physical prowess, such as melee attacks. The old agility's functions were split between the new agility and finesse. The new agility primarily relates to a character's speed, such as movement distance and evasion. This stat also will help with stuff like sneaking and stealth. Finesse, on the other hand, takes all of the range accuracy that agility used to have, along with expanding on that idea, allowing for any weapon or healing tool to be more accurate as well. This stat essentially being your ability to perform actions precisely. Willpower has two applications. It is both your capability to perform powerful abilities and your ability to resist taking damage. Basically, your force of will you exert on the universe. Intelligence is more or less the same as it was, generally relating to using abilities and healing power. This will likely also encompass as a character's sense as well, such as perception or awareness. Not sure it 100% fits, but not really sure where else this kind of skill would go. Anyway. And lastly, charisma, which is a new concept for Soul, but one that I definitely think is needed. This will be used for persuasion-based abilities along with deception and performances. So I have my new stats, but how does that relate to the changes with dice? Well, part of Soul's design philosophy is to remove as much math as possible, helping to remove distractions and allowing for better roleplay and more interesting combat. So with this change, I'm doing just that, removing math, like adding. Which, yeah, it's simple, but why have it at all if you don't have to? Let's compare this to D&D again. A player, when performing an action, will roll a dice, then look through their character sheet and find all relevant modifiers to add to the roll. My thought is, rather than having these numbers that you add to your dice, the dice have the modifiers directly built into them. So how am I going to achieve that? Well, the nice part about the D4, D6, D8, D10, and D12 is you might notice that they increase by an increment of 2 each time, which means we can actually just use these dice as a modifier themselves. A character with a lower modifier might have something like a D4, conversely someone with a higher stat might use something like a D12. Unfortunately, this system isn't actually going to be enough on its own. This is because of the other crucial component in these sorts of games, a number the player needs to beat. This is usually a fixed number or something determined by the game master. For instance, say a character wants to climb up a wall. We'll use Dungeons & Dragons for this example as well. The game master may determine that the player needs to roll a 16 in order to climb up this wall. Then the player will roll a 20-sided die and add their strength modifier to see if their number beats this 16. Now, a 16 is pretty high up there, indicating a high challenge level, so let's pretend the game master sets the difficulty to an 8 on my system.
I'm back.
An achievable number by most dice, but...
Okay. Yeah, so basically, yeah, Unforgotten Realms did that sort of thing really well. And they had like little puppets and stuff, which I thought was like a good way to do it, because you can see expression and like how the people are reacting. I think there's a lot of like cool ways to maybe do that. Even like using like VTuber technology, right, to like do that kind of thing. So like, I mean, obviously you could have your face cams, but you could have it be more interesting if you had like fantasy characters or something, even if it's simple. But yeah, they had like little tiny puppets that were just like, they didn't really go, you know, they just say actual words, but so they had like stuff like that, and they had stuff like you know, yeah, like redeems and stuff like that. And like they had like a donation tug of war, whether the boss would gain a certain ability or not, and then they would go fight back and forth, which one's more powerful. Different things like that would change the flow of the game. And I think a lot of that sort of stuff could be looked at and used to make a cool stream experience, both for chat and for the players, because that's like the biggest thing, right? Just please remember that math is fun, players. Please unremove, wait, please unremove math. Make an extension. Oh, you're just saying because like my one of my rules is math is bad. I think for me, I honestly, it's not that I dislike math, but I think it's not like, it is fun in Soul, yeah. That is one of my design philosophies, and I don't think I'm gonna move away from that necessarily. Potentially, it depends on what we do. Soul might end up having something more mathy if it continues down the route it's going. But if I am doing something that is more narrative based, I don't want math in it. I mean, for the most part, because like math might be fun for the player, but it is not fun to watch. Was there too much math in my game? The one that you the one you played, one time you played? No. Well, here's the thing. Well, for one, no, there wasn't too much math in your game. That was, I don't remember ever being like, wait, how many did I carry the 4? You know, it was like, it wasn't like that, right? Because I'm afraid of it too. I think math in a game like that is fine, right? But I think math in a role-playing game isn't good. At least if your focus is roleplay. If you want a combat simulator, 100%, right? Math is fine. It's inevitable. There's no point in changing it. Maybe not D&D level. So here's the thing. I think that's a sorry. I don't believe that. Whether it's somewhat true in a way, right? Like there is math. It's inevitable that math will come in if you have health bars and damage numbers and stuff like that. But I don't think that you have to have it represented as numbers necessarily. You can have special events where you get bonuses to your intelligence based on your math skill. I mean, and like if that's something that you like in your game, that's fine. But what I'm trying to have is like a truly like well integrated system where you don't know where, like it's hard to tell where the combat begins and the role play ends, right? Because that's the biggest challenge, right? Sorry, I'll stop bugging. No, I mean you're fine. You're totally good. It's just that's probably not what I'm going for. I don't think math is inherently bad in a role-playing game. It just depends on what game you're going for, right? like if you want to play Warhammer, right? Like that game is very mathy, right? From what I understand, I've never actually played it, so I'm just talking out of my butt right now. But I don't think that's necessarily what I want in my role-playing game experiences. And maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe the combat being mathy is fine. And like rolling big number is cool and like all that kind of stuff. But I think that I don't necessarily think that is what I'm going for. And of course, I'll have to be tested, right? I don't. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is like no point to trying to remove math so far, but it would be interesting to find another way to do combat. I mean, but the thing is, like, I mean, that's kind of like the idea of the roll-off system, right? Is like you each roll a dice, and whoever has the highest dice wins. There's literally no math, but trying to pick out like which dice you have and blah blah, and like figuring out what stat relates to what dice, that could get kind of cumbersome as well. I think there needs to be enough complexity with the mechanic that it's like interesting, where it's not like a lot of role-playing games that are very story-based lose the interestingness of combat, right? You get very like uncomplex like combat where it's just like you hit the person and then they get hurt, you know. It's like, and that's the extent of their combat system, where it's like you don't have like cool weapons, you don't have cool magical items. It's just like Monster of the Week, for example. I feel like it's very I don't want to say like dumbed down necessarily, but it like doesn't really have the like complexity of D&D and like having like interesting ways to achieve stuff, because it's like it's not really set in stone. It's just a conversation between the player and the DM. From what I understand, I haven't played that game too much either, but I don't know. These are all just my thoughts. Obviously, it's not the right or wrong way. So yeah, hopefully you don't feel that way, Jacob. I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong in thinking that math is bad. Like, it'd just be what I would try. I'm trying to go for. And it's not even that math is bad. It's just anything that diverges from the role-playing experience is bad. At least for what I'm trying to achieve. If you want a crunchy game where you have, you know, more combat and stuff, I think that's a totally fun way to play the game. But I really like the roleplay stuff and like the collaborative storytelling, and so that's why I want to make a system that encourages that. Anyway, we can keep talking about this, but I'm gonna at least try to get this page done because we've been sitting here for like half an hour at the very least. Discarding. If a card is destroyed, it is placed into a separate discard pile. Each player's cards are placed into their own individual discard pile. The Old Gods cards are placed into their own discard pile. The Minions cards are placed into their own separate discard pile. Just kind of like wordy for no reason, but again, whatever, here we are. Once a player or Old God runs out of cards, they must play out the rest of the game without drawing cards. The exception is with the Minion deck, as the cards are reshuffled and used again once the minions are discarded. I'm off, bro. Have a good one. All right, dude. Thanks for stopping by, Anonymous. And by stopping by, I mean being here for a good, like, the whole stream. I'm just, for some reason, programmed to say for stopping by. Anyway, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Hope you had a good art session. Catch you later. Good, see ya, dude. Order operations. Sometimes a single action can cause multiple effects to trigger at the same time. If these events, or in the event, the order of operations can change the outcome of the game. To ensure consistency, resolves simultaneously effects in the following order: side effects, spells, abilities, curses, oh god, base effects, negative, defeated effects, positive, defeated effects, triggered effects, player effects, and unit effects. If multiple effects occur at the same time, the same type occur simultaneously, such as several spells being played or triggered effects that conflict, the players decide which order those resolve. Some cards have effects that trigger when another card is destroyed. However, cards do not trigger from their own destruction, as they are no longer in play when the effect would occur. Any remaining conflicts or edge cases not covered here, players may agree upon a resolution order. Roll a d8, find the square root of that number in a reasonable time. 50% until roll on a d12, another, and multiply them to a reasonable time. Plus 2 intelligence. I mean, hey man, if you want to make a game that does that, more power to you. Divide what you just found by a number you roll on D4 plus 1 intelligence. If you do not like math or you're not the best, skip this challenge. Get 25% intelligence and plus 1. Yeah, it sounds a little complicated for me. But I could see that being a fun mechanic for certain groups. Especially if you kind of did it with like every stat, right? Like with charisma, you actually have to be charismatic. Like if your speech is good, then you get more charisma points. Or if you arm wrestle someone, your strength, like when you do a strength check, you have to arm wrestle the DM or another character. You just fully lean into the, like, you have to actually be good at the skills that you're using. I don't know how you'd test wisdom, but you know. Okay. Last 2 pages. Number of players. While the game is designed for balance for 2-player experience, it can be adapted for more or fewer players. However, the recommendations below are less frequently tested and may result in unbalanced experience. For solo play, you can either simulate a 2-player game controlled by two gods and 2 decks, a method often used for playtesting, or with a single god. But be aware, using a 1 god significantly increases the difficulty and may make the game nearly impossible to win. For additional players, I recommend selecting the god cards to match the increased player count. For 3 players, Neth and Bogota. Ooh, that's... We'll say Null and Bogota, and this one's for 4 players. Use Null. Maybe for 4 players, use Null and We got So Cool, Umbra. Player use. Sean the Palmo's Lawn, thank you for the follow. Use 2 of the following old gods. It was Glenna. Well, I'm having dinner at 9 p.m. What is my, oh, well, I'm having dinner at 9 p.m. What's my eating schedule? Yeah, I didn't have, I like hardly had any dinner because I had such a big lunch. I went to this place and they have sushi burgers, which was basically a it's like a rice pat, like they took rice and just smashed it into a pat, like a I don't know, a disc, and then they deep fried it, and then in the middle was like sushi filling, like seaweed salad and crab and tuna and yumminess. So that was yummy. Kind of crazy, but it was good. All right, anyway. Deck building in armies against, actually, let me make sure this is right. For 4 player, use 2 of the following old gods: Null, So Cool, Umbra, or Gazolala. Probably should be there. Deck building armies against entropy is an experimental feature based on proportional card distribution. Players can customize their decks while maintaining balance by doing the following: choose sets. Players select a number of sets from their deck, each consisting of 2 heroes, 3 lands, 1 structure, 1 spell. Number of sets. Players can choose any number of sets. Each set will increase the length of the game by 1 or 2 rounds. If you are just starting out, I'd recommend 9 sets. Old God. For each chosen set, the player adds 3 random Old God cards of the player. For each chosen set, the player adds 3 random Old God cards to the Old God deck. Okay, that makes sense. Deck building modes. Depending on how you want to build your deck, there's a few suggested modes. Blind mode, fully customizable player, or build mode. Players select the exact cards they want in their deck. Draft mode, randomized selection. Players reveal 3 cards at a time. Choose 1 and add it to their deck. The process repeats until they reach the desired deck size. Cool. Didn't even notice the music. Is it too quiet? I was gonna say shouldn't be. I don't know. Also, Sean, aren't you supposed to be mowing lawn? That's a good question. Constantly. Well, only at dawn, right? It's past dawn, right? When does dawn take place? I guess it's right at sunset, right? The sun's probably already set, so it's no longer time to mow the lawn. That'd be my guess. All right, this is fine. Export PNG. Well, you have a website. I do. It's a very nice website. I don't know if it's actually that nice, but it is a website. It's just a Squarespace one, but it's my scientific name, true. Yeah, it's got all my stuff, and not just stuff from It's basically got all my creative endeavors. There's still a few things that need to be updated in there. Like Soul isn't even on there. Some of my prop stuff isn't actually all on there. I really need to get everything. Well, I don't need to. It's like such a low on my priority list, but yeah. He's back. He's back to the dark side. Okay, last page. Actually, speaking of which, I should put my website on the links here. So, thanks for actually reminding me. I mean, people are probably going to know I have a website because this rulebook is going to be hosted on the website, but you know, you may as well just throw it on there. Okay. Additional terms in play. A card in play is in play when it's put onto the play space. This does not include cards in your hand. You dingus. Okay. Play space, cards on the table. There we go. Reveal, cards that are shown but not played. Controlled, a card that belongs to a player or old god. Usually this is specified who controls it. A zone, a horizontal row where specific types of cards are placed. For example, heroes go in the hero zone, structures go in the structure zone, runes go in the rune zone, and so on. Each card type has its own zone, and all zones run parallel across the play area. Column. A column is a vertical arrangement of that contains one card from each zone lined up directly above and below another card. Columns, or one below another. There's no card, was not in there. I don't know where I got card from. Columns are used to determine targeting and certain card effects that depend on placement. Destroyed. When a card is destroyed, it is removed from the play area and put into the discard pile. Discard. When a card in your hand is removed from play and put into the discard pile. There you go. Disabled. An affliction that can happen Sorry, let me start over. An affliction that can happen to a card, disabling its attack and removing its effects. Players and Olga cards are slightly different. Player cards. When a player card maybe shouldn't have a space between it. Probably, I don't know. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. Maybe not ideal, but there we go. Player cards. When a player card is disabled, can no longer attack, benefit from unit gain, or any effects. This effect includes base effects, unit effects, triggered effects, and using abilities. Units can be allocated to and from disabled cards. Old God cards. When an Old God card is disabled, it can no longer attack or benefit from base effects. However, both negative and positive effects, positive defeated effects, will still trigger from disabled cards. Links, Discord, Screen Top, YouTube, Twitch, website. Cool. We're done. We did it. God, I did not expect this to take this long. But I suppose we went over the entire rulebook, so... Shooting off fireworks? And why? Definitely fireworks. I'm like, is it gunshots? But it can't be. It's going off too fast and just too many. If it's gunshots, they have yet to reload, so we're good. Oh, it's still going. I don't know. It's crazy. AAE.com is a tech company, but AAE.io is for sale. Interesting. I'd probably just do the full name if it was, if I bought the domain, like Armies Against Entropy. But I don't know if I mean, I guess I maybe should buy it, but at this point, but drug. I ain't got no money. Oh, they're still going. What are they doing? Okay. Did I export this page? I think I did, right? I did. Okay. How much money is a domain? It's per, like, I mean, it depends on the domain, really, but it depends. Usually, like, honestly, usually it's like pretty cheap, but it really can depend. You know, it can be doing like it's $500 a year versus like, you know, let's just ask Google how. I can't remember off the top of my head. Domain names. I was gonna say, I think they can be like as cheap as, yeah, they're around like 10 to 20 a year, which is really not that bad. I probably should just buy Armies Against Entropy if it exists, but they can be more depending on the name. He's multiplying again. All right, guys, we did it. We do have half an hour left of the stream. I don't know what we want to do. We can't really start on art. We could just yap some more because we just yapped a good amount there. That is part of the reason it took so long to do the rule book. We just talked for like 30 minutes about role-playing games, but there ain't a lot of people watching. No, Fridays are honestly my worst days, and I'm really tempted to not stream at this time. It's mostly because I guess most of my viewers are, you know, the earlier times of the day, like during work hours in America and off work hours not in America. So who's all here? It's the YouTube squad. You guys are all like the newer people, which is kind of interesting. Which you're all from YouTube. I guess a lot of people were originally from YouTube, but you kind of came all at the same time, which is actually pretty interesting. Because I hadn't gotten any YouTube viewers in a very long time, and then all of a sudden, like 5 people came. I had to ban one of them, but found you recently, to be honest. How do you find me? Actually, both of you guys, how do you find me? Out of curiosity, what video was the first one you saw? Oh, 3. Yeah, there's 3 on YouTube and like 2 on Twitch. Hey, what was the first video of mine you saw, if that's how you found me? Blackthorn Prod, yeah, I kind of figured that. I mean, that is nice, right? The thing is, every time a Blackthorn Prod video comes out now, I get more views because people see that video and they go, oh, I haven't seen this one too. saw your first AE video. Oh, the like this is why is my game really this bad one or whatever I called it. Which Blackthorn Prod one? The Stellar Shift or Black Ridge? Which one was the first one you saw? Or both? Yeah, it's the AE. The one with the judges being like whatever. Black Ridge, okay. Arguably, Black Ridge is a much better game than Stellar Shift. Although I think, actually, I don't know. I like both devlogs, honestly. I thought they're both cool. Yeah. I need my camera to be lower. I built this little stand for it, and it's just too high, and I just don't want to fix it now. I guess what I could do is maybe build a stand so it can angle up and down. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was cool you were the first card game creator, so I was like, that guy must be awesome to be expected. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, so the biggest reason I was on there is because, not that I'm like the only YouTube card game creator, but it's because I interacted a lot in the game dev space. Whereas a lot of people, you know, stay inside the board game space. And I was making devlogs like a, you know, game dev person, right? A video game dev person. And I've been, just interacting with more people, and arguably the main person that really mattered was Tice, aka Dual Wielded, because for a while there, and I think they're done with it now, but he basically had control over the Blackthorn Prod channel. Like, he was acquiring people to be on there, and you know, yeah. First took you as a YouTuber with 20K-ish subs. It was surprised you had 1K. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't know. Unfortunately, I wish I was there too, but I don't know. I don't know. Here we are. Right. Wanted to be a game dev, but have a Chromebook that does not support Linux. That game dev launch course is free, but I could not download. Oof. Well, I mean, there are I'm trying to think, are there actual, like, are there browser based game dev engines? I mean, you could 100% do Dexterous, but if you want to do board games, but you couldn't really make any art assets. Well, I guess you could. There's probably drawing programs, right? Worst case, I end up like you, which is fine. So sorry. I know it wasn't meant like like in a bad way, but it just sounds funny saying it like that. Worst case, I end up like you. Yeah, make card games. Yeah. I mean, you don't need to learn coding either, which is kind of nice, you know? What about you, Shauna? You've been silent lately. He disappeared. I guess we're kind of just having a conversation at the end here. Because I don't really know what else to start. I could keep working. I guess we completely did all this. Working on something else while watching. Yeah, you're good. You're good, dude. You're totally fine. Oops. Wait, Control Shift 5? Like am I Shift Alt 5? There we go. Okay, I couldn't remember what the strike through command was. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I don't know, we'll see. This is really close to Armies is very, very close to being at least at the point where I want to go and take it to more people and playtest. And then once that's done, we will like it's basically balancing at this point. And then, you know, potentially having like an expansion. But I think the base cards are set. Like this is probably the expansion cards. We're gonna add one more god to the base set, which will be one of these three, which one's blank, so we'll have to come up with a new god together. But it's a big process to make a physical version and sell them. Yeah, so the actual physical version of the game is gonna be, I don't know, right? Like I'm not entirely sure what that looks like yet. It could just be as simple as just throwing it on the game crafter, and then, you know, people can, you know, put their orders in and then buy it. God of Sacrifice is pretty evil seeming for a normal god. Yeah, so the interesting part about the gods is they're not necessarily supposed to be good or evil. It's kind of like even the evil stuff has to like work together to fight against the old gods, because they're that, you know, it's like even the good and the bad gods had to come together, or good and evil gods had to come together to you know, do the what? So yeah. She can have sacrifices, there's nothing left to be sacrificed. Exactly. You get it. Because there's also God of Destruction, right? And that's a good god. A good god. I always find that funny. I've been working on a personal card game for a year-ish. Nice. Same. Dude, that is just like the most crazy fireworks I've ever heard in my life. Maybe we're under attack. I don't know, that was insane. It was originally a video game idea, but I didn't want to learn to code, so I started a card game. There you go. See, we're all in the same group. Honestly, it's not so much I didn't want to learn to code, because I do want to learn to code, but it's just like another skill set that I'm like, I already have too many skill sets and not enough time to do all of them. So, a jack of all trades, a master of none, you know? But yeah, so, but yeah, the not all the gods are necessarily good. Just like, you know, all the people aren't necessarily good. There's like, you know, necromancers and stuff like that, and who knows if that is like actually a bad practice of magic and that kind of thing. Magic also has like a cost to it, right? So it's like a detrimental effect. So lore wise, you know, Magic's probably a bad thing. So I need to focus on overgrad anyway. Oh yeah. I feel that. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting, right? All this is it's yeah, here we are. I feel like I had a different train of thought I was talking about before. Oh yeah, so yeah, sorry. We'll get one of these gods, one of the three. We need an additional one, and then balancing, and then yeah, probably there's one of two options. One, we post the game on the Game Crafter, and people can just order the game. I think they do it in batches, so like every month they'll make a new batch and ship it out. Or two, I think that's how it works. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Or two, we get enough followers on YouTube to make a Kickstarter and then go to a publisher and send it off that way. Or, you know, print like however many games and then get it, you know, I get like a pallet shipped to my house and I mail them to people. Or give it to a company and they can, you know, do it for me, right? I don't know. I'm not sure how that would work. I guess I could pitch the game to a company rather than just sell the game, you know? So additional one could be like a god of quantum physics or of tech, because we already have a god of magic. That'd be actually kind of cool. I can see that. God of technology. I don't know what that would be. I think at this point, like, I probably want to find like a cool mechanic and then do that. Although I could always work backwards, right? Like, okay, we know what magic does. Magic is very card related. So what would a technology god be based off of? Maybe the number of cards on the board could be like something, right? Based on the number of cards on the board, something happens, or the number of heroes in play. You know, like we could work with that kind of thing, but in the end, I think it's probably going to make the most sense to figure out a mechanic and then just figure out what kind of god it would be, you know? Maybe. I don't know. I made a god of trade and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of... Actually, no, I think it came up with the ability first. I would like it probably to not be an ability card, like a yellow card. It would have to be a unit effect or a triggered effect, but yeah. Or like how many you draw, like draw twice cards but play 2/3. Yeah. So, well, you're only allowed to play 2 cards. So that's kind of what this god is, sacrifices, actually. You're not allowed to play cards during play phase, but you get 6 units, and then your ability is that you can remove 2 units to play additional cards. So it's like kind of like you can, and then plus 2 units per use. So essentially you can play 2 cards, or you can have a large amount of units, but not both. So it's kind of really interesting. It's kind of like a trade-off, hence sacrifice, right? So I don't know. It's all very, very interesting. Who knows? So yeah, we'll have to like fish through some mechanics and decide what would be cool, but ideally I would like a unit effect, aka the effects that require a certain number of units on the card in order to play it, or in order to gain the effect, like, you know, the blue ones, or a triggered effect, which when something happens, then something occurs. Probably a unit effect, because there's already a lot of triggered effects. There's a few with no effect. So a unit effect would be kind of cool. Maybe something cool to go along with that. I've got some things to do, so I'll need to wrap up in less than 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be done in I mean, technically the ad starts in 2 minutes or 10 minutes, so I was figuring I'd be out of here before then. I could peruse the here. We're just talking anyway. Let me just go to my face. I mean, it's probably more interesting seeing the whatever the cards and stuff, but we'll show my face for now. Only if you can see. No, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's just we're probably just gonna raid out to someone on Twitch and momentarily. I guess we're kind of done with this conversation anyway, right? Like we're out of we don't have enough time to make a god. We could mess around and do that, but I don't know. Here we are. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for following on Twitch too. It's cool. Number go up is fun. There's like some people I could raid that I know, but also at the same time, I'd almost rather just find someone new. Only like 3 viewers anyway. Yeah, it's probably about time to find someone to raid. That's the other advantage of being on Twitch, is that you get to join the raid. Even if you stay for like a few seconds, a lot of times it's just kind of fun to see what happens when you join someone. So yeah. Although it always takes me way too long to find someone, so that's an experience. In theory, eventually we have enough people that we don't have to find people anymore, but I really do like finding new people. I think it's fun to find new people. That's all I'm trying to say. Especially if we can find more. You have a streaming schedule. Yes, so it is on the on my page there. If you actually just scroll down in the chat, it should be on the bottom there. I don't know if it's on mobile though, if that's what you're on. Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. If you are on Discord too, it is. I just saw it. No, you're good. If you're on Discord, it does show your actual local times if you're different than EST, which is kind of nice, because there's a streaming schedule tab. So that's pretty cool. I'm trying to see if there's anyone making their own trading card games. That's one of the things I like to do when raiding. I guess seeing that you're the only one left, what do you want to see? Do you want to see art, video game development, or I'm trying to look for trading card game stuff, but I don't think we're gonna find anything. I usually like to find art people because I think that's more fun to watch than game dev, but just because like jumping in and like looking at someone's code and then being like, what am I even watching right now? Like I don't know code, but even if I did, I feel like jumping in and then like looking at someone's code and trying to figure out where I am is just confusing, I'm drawing right now anyways. There you go. See if I can find someone doing... Trying to see if I can find anyone doing anything anywhere related to what we're doing, but probably not. you know. But hopefully, I mean, next time we'll probably just be working on the rule book more. I'm trying to think what Monday will entail. But there's a lot of cute anime girls. That's all I'm finding right now. Trying to see if there was anything like card game related, but all I'm seeing is I don't know. What is this? What are this? I have no idea. They have Pikmin on their screen. I don't know, whatever. This person has lower number of not lower, but this art seems kind of cool. There's no person there. Okay, you know what? This is wild. Okay, I need to pick something. Tell me to pick something. Tell me to stop stalling. We're going. You know what? Here's someone drawing on Pokemon cards. Perfect. We're doing it. Away we go. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. It was great seeing you. Monday, we'll be working on more army stuff, probably. And then hopefully we'll get it done soon. And then we just can move on from that. So, yeah, goodbye. It was good seeing you. I'll see you over on this guy's chat. He is painting on Pokemon cards, which seems interesting. So, anyway, see you all. Goodbye. Farewell. Doodles.